إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. Inshallah, today we will continue in Madarij al-Salikin, the steps of the seekers from the book of Ibn al-Qayyim, rahmahullah. And the step of today, or the manzila of today, or the state of today, is the al-firaru ila Allah. Al-firar, manzilat al-firar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran said, فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنِّي لَكُمْ مِنْهُ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ وَلَا تَجْعَلُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَهًا آخَرَ إِنِّي لَكُمْ مِنْهُ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فِرُّوا is a command to Allah. I am to you from Allah as a warner, meaning Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And do not take partners with Allah. I am to you from Allah as a warner. So the word firar, or the command firru, is to move quickly to a direction, and it is running from a direction. Or so you're coming from one side and going to the other. Okay? You're running from something and you're running to something. So al-firar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is clear we are running to Allah. But what are we running from? What are we running away from? Many things. So first, we know we are running from Allah to Allah. Okay? Allahumma la malja'a wa la manja minka illa ilayk, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam teaches us. There is no place of refuge away from you except to you. There is no way of safety away from you except to you, Ya Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has attributes, okay? And we're running to the attributes of Jamal, attributes of the rahmah, the mercy of Allah, the compassion of Allah, the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we're running away from what? Running away from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam al-Qayyim takes it into certain items that he talks about, that running from an issue to another. So he talks about running al-firaru min al-jahl ila al-ilm. To run from jahl is ignorance or lack of knowledge, to al-ilm, to knowledge. So to run to Allah, you have to run to Allah with knowledge. Then you have to stay away and run away from the lack of knowledge, meaning you need to learn. You need to go from ignorance to knowledge. That's obvious, because we will not be able to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unless we have the knowledge of how to. However, the word jahl in Arabic, in the Arabic language, does not just mean the lack of knowledge. Could be jahl usually is talked about a lack of knowledge that is a lack that is compound lack of knowledge, right? Versus simple lack of knowledge. A simple lack of knowledge, meaning that I don't know something, you tell me about it, and then I know it. Now I did not have knowledge, now I have it. No problem. Simple, and now I acquired what I did not have. However, uh, some kind of jahl would be because I am carrying already information about a topic, but it is the wrong information, right? Then you come and tell me what I'm carrying is wrong, and you're trying to correct me. You give me the right knowledge about this information. Now I insist on what I'm carrying. That is really jahiliyyah. This is jahl. This is ignorance, because I'm already carrying something that is incorrect and unacceptable. Okay? But even I can propagate it, try to propagate it, and so forth, and it will be deviation from the right knowledge. That's one. Another one is the jahiliyyah or jahl. It is it's a state a person could be in. Okay? Example of that. When the Israelites with Musa alayhi salam, they found a dead body somewhere, and they went to the people that the body was found close to them. They said, we had nothing to do with him, we don't know anything, and accusation from somewhere else and so forth. So they went to Musa alayhi salam and say, there is a problem here, we want you to come and solve it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed upon Musa alayhi salam, telling him to tell the Israelites to slaughter a cow. So he went to them and says, Inna Allah ya'murukum an tadhbahu baqara. Indeed, Allah is commanding you to slaughter a cow. The first reaction to them, to him, they said, Atattakhiduna huzwa? Are you making fun of us? What did Musa alayhi salam say? A'udhu billahi an akuna minal jahilin. I seek refuge with Allah to be from among those who are jahilin. Here he put the word jahl, but not a jahli meaning the lack of knowledge, but jahli meaning ignorance as a person, or doing something ignorance. Meaning, you are telling me that I am trying to make fun of you. I am the Prophet of Allah, and how could you accuse me of doing that? That would be jahiliyyah. That's what Musa alayhi salam saying, right? Another time, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, okay, that when the women of town tried to seduce him and so forth, he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect him. And if you don't protect me, asbu ilayhin wa akum min al-jahilin. That is, if you don't, protect me, Allah, I will become, be like a boy, and go with what they are asking me to do, and I'll become from jahilin, those also who are ignorance in a way. Now it is a person does not have the knowledge, but he is in a state of ignorance, meaning as we know it in English, right? Sometimes you point at a person or an action and say, this is an ignorance action, okay? Or this person is ignorant to do such an action. You're not saying that he is have a lack of knowledge, but you can say a lack of manners maybe, and a lack of being upright and so forth. So we run from jahiliyyah to ilm. Also, he said running from al-kasal to al-nashat, or from laziness into being active, okay? Meaning moving from the state of saying, putting things, saying that I'm going to do later, I'm going, plan for this and plan for that, and so forth. And you are putting things on hold while things has to be done quickly, because we are judged according to, or on the time that we have, and how we are using it. And if you have time and you have issues that it has to be done, you have to move from this state, the state of action, to accomplish what you should be accomplishing. Now Ibn al-Qayyim went to details of moving from something to another in a very beautiful way. Okay, one of the things it was said that moving الفرار من الخبر للشهادة. Okay, أو المشاهدة. Running from khabar to mushahada. Khabar, as we talked about it before, it is information that is coming to you. You don't have knowledge. Now you're getting information that is knowledge. Now you have a knowledge about this specific information. To al-mushahada. Mushahada, to be an eyewitness. Okay? So he said we need to move from just taking the news and knowing it is the knowledge of that news to almost you could see that information as reality. Of course, we know that from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about paradise, about hellfire, about angels, about, the scenes in the day of judgment, okay, the scenes of Jannah, and so forth, about the future and what will be happening in the future in this dunya, before the hereafter as well, and so forth. So we have yaqeen, absolute certainty. Okay, this absolute certainty, it could be given to you through knowledge, right? Meaning the knowledge about things that you should be absolutely certain in it. That is ilm al-yaqeen, the knowledge of yaqeen. But then there is a move after that, it is ayn al-yaqeen, to be an eyewitness to this absolute certainty, right? For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ثُمَّ تَرَوْنَهَا عَيْنَ الْيَقِينِ, talking about hellfire. Then you'll be able to see it and be eyewitness to it. You got it from ilm, from knowledge. Now, at a time when you die and the time of the day of judgment, you'll be able to see, you'll be an eyewitness in it. And then haqq al-yaqeen. The haqq of yaqeen is the experience of the absolute certainty, which is actually entering Jannah. Okay, that is the experience of that certainty. Or those who will enter hellfire, okay, that they will enter it, and it is going to be now an experience for them, an experience that they were told about it, they saw it, and now they are in it. Okay, so he's saying that run from the news into be an eyewitness. After all, the high state of relationship with Allah is al-ihsan, right? Meaning there is a state, you become a Muslim, then you become a mu'min, and then you become a muhsin. Okay, a Muslim, it is you with the 5 pillars, and then the Eeman, that circle within Islam, is the pillars of Eeman. Is all of it has to do with believing in something that you do not see, in Allah and the angel of the day of judgment, the messengers that came before, the books and the qadr of Allah. All of this is not something that is tangible, but you should be able to believe in it as it is. But now maqam al-ihsan, that is more than Eeman, is the maqam that when Jibreel alayhi salam asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, what is ihsan? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, ihsan is أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. That you worship Allah as if you see Allah, and if you don't see Allah, Allah sees you. So that is as if you see. This is maqam al-mushahada now, or running from the news and that knowledge about information about certain issues to almost you could see it. Okay, so maqam al-ihsan, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us, you worship Allah as if you see Allah. Okay. So that is running al-fararu min al-khabar to al-mushahada. Okay. Now, he said also running from al-rusumu to al-usul. From al-rusum to al-usul. Rasm and asl. Running from, the rasm is the surface of things. Okay, what it looks like from the outside. Usul, it is the root of it. So running from the surface to the core, if you will. Just one comment about the al-khabar to al-mushahada that just came to me. when or we can say it in usul and in rusum al-usul as well. Rusum al-usul, it is, you could be worried about the surface of things. So you have a beard, you have a thobe that is short, you're making sure that you do things, on the surface exactly as it should be and so forth, and the heart's completely somewhere else, right? The hearts that is not really connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You standing in the prayer and saying Allahu Akbar, and now you are in the prayer, but your heart is not in it, and your mind is going everywhere in a way that you don't even know which rak'at that you are in, and so forth. So there is a core of things, and it is surface of things, and a balance has to be there, right? A balance has to be there. If you look at the surface of things and how you look like and you act like, and the acts of worship, how it is performed to the T, and the heart is not connected, that is unacceptable. But also you can go the other way, and that's not acceptable, okay? Because you can claim that the heart is connected with Allah, and we know sometimes you call somebody to do something as a time of prayer, time for this and that, or advise someone, and they say, I am close to Allah, my heart, Allah knows what's in my heart, and so forth. So what he's claiming is that he is al-asl, the root is strong. So don't talk to me about the surface. The root is important. That also is not acceptable. If the root is strong and sound, then the action is going to be sound also, right? Also within that, we cannot say, I'm not going to do a rusum until I get to the usul, right? I'm not going to do the surface things until I am, in my heart sound in it, because I don't want to be a hypocrite, right? That is the talk of shaitan. No, because you are claiming that the action has to go from the inside to the out, from inward to outward, and now we say that, like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, told us a hadith that indicate that this certainty can come from the outside in and come from the inside out. Okay. Example of that is when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tell us to straighten the lines in the prayer, and if there is crookedness in your line, Allah will have crookedness within your hearts. Okay, that means the heart is inside, the line is the outside. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying on the outside you need to perform in a certain way and form the line in a certain way. Okay, so your heart would be tranquil with one another. That's an action from the outside to in. If a sister is saying, I don't want to be putting the hijab and the khimar on unless I am, it's in my heart, I'm convinced and so forth, I don't want to be a hypocrite and so forth, that's nonsense. You have the capability of following on the surface, then do so, and then the heart can follow. I remember a sister, she was saying that she was pushed into wearing, the proper clothes. Pushed meaning the men in her life was telling her, no, you should do this, this and that, and she was pressured and she had to put it on. Okay, and she said, I wear the long, clothes and so forth. And then many years later, she's saying, it's impossible for me to get out of the house and I feel something is hitting me on the back of my leg, meaning wearing something short that would show part of her, legs and so forth. Okay, that is, in other words, she was saying that I came into disobedience, was being, being told, you must do this, you must do that. And after I done that, I cannot imagine not doing it anymore. It is part of who I am. Okay. So now uh, a beautiful Farar as well. Now we said Farar min al-khabaru to al-mushahada. And we said, from the news into being eyewitness, right? And then we said min al-rusum ila al-usul, from the surface into the core of things. And also he said from al-hudud, okay? Hudud meaning the hadh al-nafs, to at-tajreed. At-tajreed means totally to Allah. Meaning the share of the nafs is to the share that's only to Allah, right? Meaning you could be doing the right proper prayer and the proper acts of worship and so forth and being upright. But he was saying that you could actually taste, and this is very fine, subhanallah, that you can find sweetness in the acts of worship that you do. So it becomes that you're doing that act of worship for the sweetness of it, not is totally for Allah, right? So sometimes you find yourself, as he said, choosing some of acts of worship to do more of, because it is that you taste sweetness in it. To the point is, this is what you are gaining from it, right? This is what you're gaining from it. And that would be totally what you're gaining from it. It's not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is for you now. Okay? He gave an example of someone who was going to Hajj many years, year after year after year, because he said he loves to go to Hajj and and so forth. And then that a person who is upright, and he was saying that an incident that happened, that showed me that I'm going for Hajj now is just for the sweetness of it, not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. He said, I was sitting one time and my mother far away, and she asked me to get her water. And I was sort of busy with something, and I found difficulties to stand up and walk and get the water for her. He said, I found myself heavy and like not now, or something like that. He said, and he realized at that moment, he said, my mother is asking me for water, and I find difficulties of getting up and getting her water. And now if somebody tell me it's Hajj now, I'll get up and run to Hajj. That is because I want to, because something for me is not something that I have to do. So Ibn al-Qayyim, he said, running away from what you get from things to the action is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah alone. And then he made a triangle that's very beautiful. He said there is Allah, there is an-nas, okay? There is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there are people, okay? And there is awamir, there are commands, okay? So he said, when you're dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you stay away from an-nas, right? When you're dealing with Allah, you stay away from the people. Meaning you don't do things because you're expected from people to see you doing this. Okay? Al-mura'ah, you want to do something so you could be showing off. Okay, so he said when you're doing something for Allah, you stay away from the people. Okay? In your heart, you get away from the people. And when you do something for the people, stay away from yourself. Okay? Stay away from yourself. Okay? Meaning you don't think of yourself. You think of the people. Right? You don't be too lazy to do for the people. Or what is it in it for me? You want something from the people. No. When you're dealing with the people, you get away from yourself. And he said, when you are going to the awamir of Allah, the commands of Allah, you get away from hazl al-nafs. Hazl al-nafs is that you're looking to gain something from this as sweetness, If the sweetness comes, that is beautiful. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that. Okay? Meaning, don't feel guilty when you taste sweetness in an act of worship and you say, I should not really, because that's a door of shaitan as well. I should not taste, this is, myself now is getting a share of that. It's not for Allah. Then I stay away from, we need to be careful of that. Because Rasulullah ﷺ told us in a hadith that you will not taste the sweetness of Iman unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu becomes more beloved to you. Okay, or Rasulullah sallallahu more beloved to you than you yourself and your wealth and your family and so forth. Right? So you are expected to taste the sweetness of Iman. Okay? But now you take that sweetness of Iman and you thank Allah for it, and that is a fruit that Allah has given you. And you take that fruit and you taste it and it's delicious, and you go in for Allah and Allah alone, right? and there is a step after that in going to Allah. Inshallah, we will talk about it later on, because it needs a little bit of explanation, okay, which is a concept of fana. It's a concept of fana, of being going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the point that of annihilation, that you completely do not exist in a way with Allah. We have to be very careful with that, because that could take us into a way that is out of Islam completely, out of the concept of Tawheed. Okay? But inshallah, we'll be touching on that later on when the time comes for it, inshallah. But here is that balance, okay? The balance that you are, running to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from something to something for the sake of Allah. And having that balance. The balance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we made you ummatan wasata. Ummah, okay? وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. And like that, we made you a nation that is balanced. Wasat, meaning upright, not to any extreme. لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ, so you become witness upon people. And وَيَكُونُ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا, meaning the messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be a witness on you and on everybody. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring us into the end of Ramadan in a way that our hearts will have more understanding of how to think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how to start and keep going in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, both on the surface, in the rusum, and in al-usul, in the surface and in the cores. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.